This holiday season,
That's a big red dog.
critics are raving Clifford is 100% fun for the entire family.
Why don't we get you on the scale here, bud? I'm just gonna write heavy.
Clifford the Big Red Dog, rated PG, now playing in theaters and streaming on Paramount+.
And welcome. It's Michigan's AutoTalk podcast, episode 31. Every episode of this podcast is all about celebrating the automobile, plus everything automotive. And we're also about helping and supporting you, the car and truck owners across the great state of Michigan, birthplace of everything automotive. I'm producer Phil Tower, along with hosts Al Schwinkendorf and John Puhek from Verberg's Automotive. And we are dedicated. We're talking about the fact we've done 30 episodes, and we've never done one specifically on insuring your car. So Al had to bring in a ringer who actually he's an in-law. Is that right, Al? Is that
sure.
For full disclosure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But he's a good guy, too.
Yeah.
He's a good guy, too. I'll have you introduce him and take over. We're basically want to cover, the things people typically overlook when they're insuring the car, the do's and don'ts and all that good stuff. So I'll let you go ahead and introduce our guest on this episode.
All right. We got Tim Heil from Ottawa Kent Insurance. He's taking care of our corporate stuff, including vehicles forever. And like I just told him earlier, I know there's changes. You see stuff on like Channel 8's website and that about, the new insurance laws in Michigan and this and that. And I'm totally ignorant to that because usually, 3-4 weeks from now, he'll come in and give us the forecast for next year and what it's going to cost us. And we just say, okay, let's go to work so we can pay the insurance. But people need to know what's changing and what's going on. And when I talked to him a little bit earlier today, my view of what the changes were and what he says is actually going down are two totally different things. So thanks a lot, Tim.
No problem. And thank you for asking me here. It's great to be with you all this evening. Regarding the changes that you're hearing about in the news, I think a lot of it is the news trying to create some buzz and a little bit of clickbait with their headlines, to draw attention.
That happens.
Yeah. So to me, there are not really changes to no fault. And there weren't changes to no fault this summer, but they did allow you to elect and designate the level of coverage that you wanted for your personal injury protection, the PIP coverage. Okay. And so there's 4 different levels: $1 million, $500,000, $250,000, and I believe $100,000. And then you could elect $50,000 if you had Medicare, Medicaid, or something along those lines. And those
because it would help cover?
It was supposed to reduce your premium that you paid. It also reduces the benefit that your insurance pays.
Okay. Very important.
Yep. And
so you get the balance in the lawsuit, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that's
well. Remember what the PIP was designed for. It was a very rich benefit back in the, I think it was late 70s. It went into effect. We were the only state, and still are the only state, that offers unlimited medical coverage. Yeah, which is a really big deal. So I went back and I looked in 1998. The state Department of Insurance figured that they had a huge surplus in the MCCA, and MCCA is Michigan Catastrophic Care Association. And essentially, the carrier that carries your auto insurance agrees to cover your medical coverages up to a certain level that is designated by the state every year. And in 1998, it was $250,000. And in 2021, it's $580,000. So your carrier is responsible for your medical coverage up to that level. And then above that level, so in 2021, it's above $580,000, the Michigan Catastrophic Care Association kicks in above that level, depending upon the level of PIP coverage that you elected. And in July, we all got sent 3 pages worth of forms and had to elect what kind of PIP coverage we were going to select. And I got a lot of personal lines customers. Now, granted, I mainly do commercial insurance, but a lot of the people that I insure or insure their businesses were calling me about this. And I always told people, you can elect what you want to elect, but keep the unlimited because you're going to save $80 a year a vehicle. And that's essentially
keeping the unlimited.
Keep the unlimited for $80 a vehicle a year. to have unlimited coverage, because it never fails. You'd lower the coverage, and then somebody in your family would have a catastrophic event. The minute you scale it back even to $500,000, the MCCA doesn't pick up the widening of your doorways. It won't pick up the cost of a vehicle if you're a paraplegic or a quadriplegic. If you need a vehicle to be outfitted to move you to a doctor's appointments and all that stuff. With the unlimited, you still get all that stuff. And there's a number of other things that go away the minute you move it from $1 million or from unlimited to a $500,000.
One of the other levels. Okay.
Yes.
So the unlimited is the way to go. I've got a question.
Yes.
My pet peeve, and you've never done this to me. My pet peeve with insurance is it used to be that, deductibles were incredibly small.
Yep.
Our monthly payment was incredibly small. And then somewhere like in the 80s, like I get the rare occasion where somebody break into a car at the shop and my insurance man said, well, it's only $5,000. Why don't you just pick that up instead of claiming it, because they're going to bump you enough that it's not going to be worth it.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Really? So if we're going to do that, then after that, they started like in the 90s going, these deductibles from like 100 and 200 to 500 to 1,000 to what is the level? I mean, is there a level where most people out there can just go, okay, I need to have 1,000 or 1,500 or $2,000 deductible to make my insurance reasonable enough that it's worth it? You know what I'm saying? Where's
Great
the
question.
break-even point?
Well, I think it's different for everybody based on their age, their income level, and what they drive, right, and the coverage that they have. So, in the commercial world, I have carriers that don't even file for $100 comprehensive deductible. They start at $250 or $500.
Yep.
In the commercial world. Personal lines, it used to go down to a $50 comp deductible. I don't know, but I'm guessing most carriers don't even offer a $50
right,
comp deductible.
I'm sure they don't.
So, the most common that I see is $100 and $250 for comprehensive, and then 500 and 1,000 are the most typical for personal lines in collision. And then we're seeing more people select regular coverage versus broad. Mm-hmm. And the difference there, regular coverage, you're going to have a deductible whether you're at fault or not. And with broad form, you're only going to have a deductible if you're at fault.
And if not, the insurance company's going after their insurance company.
Well, with Michigan no fault.
It's just the way it is.
Everyone takes.
So they're paying a premium for it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Phil, do you remember when comprehensive cost nothing? Free windshields for life? That happened when I started driving, and then it changed. Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, and think about today, the design of cars. I mean, that's the thing that we got to factor all, and you guys are aware of this as much as anybody. Windshields are structural integrity of cars.
Correct.
Are the structural integrity of some vehicles. Mm-hmm. And that, you can't go out and not get OEM glass.
All right. I have a question for you with respect to the new technology, Tim, including the collision avoidance and the lane alert things, which is supposed to make us all safer drivers. Does that, as an insured party, if I'm insured with Ottawa Kent Insurance, if I've got a new vehicle that's got all that high-tech accident avoidance technology built into my vehicle, is that going to lower my insurance? In some cases, maybe.
And so here's
we've all seen that Tesla video. Come on.
Yeah.
So
here's the other thing. Yes, but it costs more to fix it, so it's a 50-50, isn't it?
That's exactly where I was going.
That's a great point.
Calibrating that stuff after an accident
is
unbelievable. And very few of the body shops have that technology in-house. They're actually contracting it out.
Yep. Oh, yes. Yep.
Our buddy Sean come do it.
Yep.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So before I forget this and we get lost, one question. When do you think, if ever, we will start having mandatory dash cams front and rear? Because we all love watching those Russian dash cam videos, and crashes and all that. That's the way I see that. It's like, well, if you got a video, there's no fault. Here we go. When, if anything, do you think we'll see that?
not to get too political here, but we've got a hard time mandating vaccination. So how are we going to do that?
Yeah, that's a good point. There's a privacy issue there as well, too.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. When you are a commercial auto going down the road for hire, I think that opens up the spectrum for some of this stuff. And we are seeing more of that in commercial vehicles to get discounts on liability and physical damage for commercial fleets. Mandate, John? I don't know, but it's definitely there if you're willing to invest in the technology. And I couldn't even tell you that it pays for itself, but it does reduce the cost.
It can be done so cheap. It really can. I don't know about forward and back, but a regular dash cam, like you can go to Napa and get something. And there's a lot of commercial drivers, in trucks that are like independents and stuff like that just run them all the time. And it does save them tickets and accidents and all that stuff. Tim, thank you so much for everything you went through to be here tonight. Hope
My pleasure,
you can
guys.
come back some other time because this is a huge issue. I know John's got other questions. I've got other questions.
Yeah.
Phil's got other questions. We'd love to pick your brain.
We're definitely going to do a part 2 with you, Tim. I could ask you 5 or 6 questions just about car deer crashes alone. So be ready for that next time. Okay.
Noted.
Tim Heil, Ottawa Kent Insurance. He is also an in-law of the great Al Schwinkendorf, but he's also a guy who knows insurance inside and out. I am producer Phil Tower from Michigan's AutoTalk podcast.
I'm Al Schwinkendorf.
I'm John Puhek from Verberg's Automotive.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Fall is the season of gathering that brings us together with warmth and color. So whether it's a birthday, anniversary, or a special event, celebrate your friends and family with a gorgeous bouquet of roses from 1-800-Flowers.com. 1-800-Flowers makes it easy to brighten someone's day with 24 multicolored roses for just $39.99. To get 24 multicolored roses for just $39.99, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/tune in. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/tune in.